Welcome to this week's episode of Jet Lag in the News. I'm Steve Jasper, aka the Jet Lag Guy.
News is,
First
of
up
course,
with the
this
sad
week, the
news
ongoing
out of
situation
LaGuardia
in the Middle
Airport in
East,
New York,
with most flights in the region cancelled
First up
or
with the
drastically
sad news
reduced.
out of LaGuardia. Air Canada Express Flight 8646 from Montreal, operated by Jazz Airlines, collided with a fire truck on runway 4 at approximately 11:45 p.m. Sunday evening local time. Sadly, there were 2 deaths, the pilot and the co-pilot, and a number of injuries. The airport was closed for several hours but has since reopened. My sympathies are for the family and friends of those who were lost. Meanwhile, in Australia, Delta Airlines Flight 41 from Los Angeles to Sydney came into some turbulence shortly before landing, with injuries to 4 flight attendants. Staff were sent to nearby Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. Thankfully, there were no deaths. The new entry-exit system in Schengen countries, or EES, is causing challenges for international travellers. At Tours Airport in France, passengers took over an hour and a half to clear security and missed their flight from Marrakech in Morocco at 12:15 p.m. on Wednesday, 11th of March local time. The director of Tours Airport, Louis Chermont, described the circumstances as, quote, regrettable, but stopped short of promising full refunds for passengers, stating the airport, quote, will investigate what happened and determine who is responsible. Travellers in Europe are advised to allocate additional time before boarding an international flight. The British are coming. The British are coming, at least to Melbourne, Australia. As of January 2027, British Airways will launch daily, year-round services to Melbourne on the Boeing 7879 via Kuala Lumpur, connecting travellers directly with London and onward destinations in Europe. This will strengthen travel links between Australia and Europe. Given the current situation in the Gulf and the severing of many of the previous travel links, this is a welcome addition to travel options here in Australia. Could your jet lag be causing you credit card surcharges? Well, not anymore. After an investigation by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, or ACCC for short, all travellers who check into Hyatt hotels throughout Australia will have fairer card surcharge rates rather than additional hidden charges. The ACCC began its investigation after consumer reports suggested Hyatt Regency Sydney was charging debit card surcharges above its cost of acceptance, which was potentially breaching the Competition and Consumer Act. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby was interviewed by David Slotnick and made a surprising admission. He's never eaten on an overnight transatlantic flight. Kirby said, quote, I've flown across the Atlantic probably at least 100 times, and I've never once eaten a meal going from the US to Europe. It's been speculated that this might be the reason why United Airlines business class catering offers so much room for improvement, shall we say. And now over to some research. The Canadian province of British Columbia sprang forward for daylight savings time for the last time back on the 8th of March. British Columbia will now remain permanently on daylight savings time, universal time minus 7 hours. This has been a controversial decision in some quarters, particularly regarding the late sunrise in the winter months. I described the changes for daylight savings time as a mini jet lag, where the flight is a lot shorter, but the plane is a lot bigger. And now over to sport. The Florida Panthers took the longest flight of their season on Saturday, travelling across North America for Sunday's game against the Seattle Kraken. Coach Paul Maurice said he did not think jet lag was going to be a problem, saying, quote, we're pretty good at long flights. That statement aged like milk, with the Florida Panthers going down against the Seattle Kraken 2-6. Jet lag is a factor and needs to be accounted for. To quote Coach Maurice after the flight, he said, quote, "We've got to own it, deal with it, because it was no good. The coach was lousy, the players were equal, so we've got to be a better hockey team. And take jet lag into account," would be my additional advice. Last week, I spoke about South Korea performing poorly against the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic in Miami due to jet lag. This week, it's Japan's turn. The Japanese baseball team suffered a 5-8 loss to Venezuela, and the team failed to qualify for the semi-finals. Team manager Ibata Hirokazu has resigned, and national team players, including Ohtani Shohei, have posted apology statements on social media. As abusive comments poured down on pitcher Ito Hiromi, who gave up the go-ahead homer, the Japan Professional Baseball Players Association announced it would take legal action. Obviously, a key factor in Japan's performance was jet lag, and pitcher Matsuzaka Daisuke said as much, saying, quote, "This is not an excuse for losing, but there was an issue with adjusting to the time difference. After playing the first round in Japan, it was difficult to play in the US just 3 days later. I've experienced it too, and playing when not adjusted to the time difference puts quite a physical burden on you. It would have been better to have a little more time to adjust to the time difference." Over to India, and now turning to some athletes who did take jet lag into account. At the 50-kilometre World Championships in India, with a lot of humidity, Team Great Britain and Northern Ireland made a near clean sweep of the medal counts, with a total tally of 7 medals. The key reason the team did so well was before travelling, the athletes received additional education around competing overseas and adapting to jet lag from Liverpool John Moores University Master of Science students. Jet lag coaching makes a difference. Finally, meanwhile at Hobart International Airport in Tasmania, the island state of the south coast of Australia, have you ever gone shopping for a soft toy only to find that soft toy is very much alive? Among the plush toy kangaroos and dingoes was a very much real-life brush-tailed possum in the airport gift shop. The possum remained calm as it was taken out of the terminal into the wild. They're nocturnal, so maybe it was waiting for a night flight. No, you can't keep that toy. Let's all just be glad it wasn't a Tasmanian devil. If you have any questions or want to know more about what I do, check out my website at www.jetlagguide.com.au. There's another book on the way, and you'll be the first to know when it's released. And that's this week's Jet Lag in the News. I'm Steve Jasper, aka the Jet Lag Guy. Thank you for watching.